Greetings and salutations, guys. Welcome to Stop-Up%'s Badgered. It's a quite special bit right now. This is recorded, even though you're watching the live stream that's still live. This is recorded in the live stream that is a recorded bit. I don't know. I forget. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But we're sat. We are joined for our first ever developer interview on Badgered. We're joined by Riccardo from ArcticNet. Do you want to tell the guys who ArcticNet are?
ArcticNet is a really small company that was born 7 years ago here in Osaka, in Japan. And basically, it started only with me, and I have now I have people working together with me in making the game that we're making. So we started with the our first game was called RP Golf, and it came out in 2017. And that was made by basically 2 people plus the artist. Now we're 4 people, so which is pretty good. And we're making a sequel, which is RP Golf 2.
Yeah, we would talk about that the other day on the stream because I can't wait for this. We've had an interview with you previously on the website as well about RP Golf 2 and how much I love it and stuff. And Ed loves it as well now. Yes. ArcticNet, didn't you start as an IT company?
It was a company. Yeah, it's always been an IT company, basically. I mean, we don't only do games. We do also software development, which includes web development, application development, so anything basically related to the IT world. And we started doing our first own game. It was RP Golf, so that was the first.
How did you go from an IT company to a game development? Because that's quite a shift. Was that it's passion?
Well, yeah, I've always loved games, and I have a master in computer game development, so that's it's always been my passion since I was a kid. I played games since I was 4 years old, probably on the Commodore 64. That's the first console I ever played games on.
Blimey. When you say you've been playing games for a while, you've been playing games for a while. Wow.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying on that one. I'm not lying on that one. So yeah, I've been playing games for a long time, and I always want to make games. But as you know, going from theory to practice takes a lot. so many terms.
So we've been talking about RP Golf. This main reason we've got you here is RP Golf 2. For anyone who's not seen, I don't know why you haven't yet. You should be playing it because it's less than £3 bloody quid. Do you want to tell me what RP Golf is?
RP Golf was the first game that we made for ArcticNet, and it's basically it was born from basically me playing back in the days on the original Game Boy. For people that played that, the original Game Boy, the one that you couldn't play in the dark.
Brick.
I had one.
The one you couldn't play in the dark, basically.
I had the big white brick with the magnifying glass and the snake line.
Oh, the amount of stuff I had for my Game Boy.
That was powered up.
Yeah.
So basically, while playing that one of the games that really I loved so much was it was just called Golf. Just Golf. That was the original title. It was just this is called Golf. And what I loved about that game was the very simple graphic, but it was so detailed. You had all the holes, and there was a flag, and you could see the clubhouse in the background. But what I always missed in that game was why can't I not go around and see? I mean, I want to go there. I want to go and see that tree. I always wanted to do something like that. It was always you make a shot and you get teleported to the ball. So that was kind of not so fun.
Yeah.
So the first idea was I want to make an open world golf game. But then it was that's cool, of course. I mean, you can make an open world golf game, but you're bound to find monsters when you play golf, right?
Obviously.
I have played golf. I have got a handicap somewhere back in the day, and I never saw monsters. A few birds in the trees, but
You're playing on the wrong course.
Have you been playing golf? Are you sure you're talking about the same sport?
Yeah, we talk about the same game here, Ed.
Oh no, I'm talking about real life.
Yeah. So are we.
Yeah, exactly.
I must have been high as a kite to not see these monsters then. Sorry.
Something, no monsters. Probably it's a training course for low-level players. Something like
You're not on the pro courses.
You're not on the pro course yet.
Damn it.
Yeah, and that was basically the inspiration behind the first title. It took a while to get there. It took a while to get it working. And, yeah, but we learned a lot.
What's different from RP Golf to RP Golf 2 then?
Well, we got a lot of feedback from the first game. Obviously, we got what people liked and what people didn't like. The development of the first game was also took a long time for a series of reasons, which are like both personal and economical, because it takes a lot of money to make a game.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
And so what we learned was like, I mean, when we released the first RP Golf, it was a lot smaller than we wanted. So it wasn't exactly the game we dreamed of. It's like, oh, this is, when you finish something and it's like, this is exactly as I envisioned it. We were like, it's okay, it's good. We're happy about that.
We haven't got the time to put this in or that in, and yeah.
Exactly. So the first big issue was like there were 9 holes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was for a golf game, 9 holes is not so many. You actually had 18 because we had like some
mirrored holes.
You could have some extra 9 holes. So 18 was kind of a number. Now we have 54, and all of them are regional.
Damn.
And also we have different environments. Before you basically had like the forest, and that's that's it. You play in the forest. There was some snow sometime, but basically there was the forest. Then you had the forest, and you could play in the forest too. I mean, that was...
So what you're saying is, if you like the forest, play
it. First game, you're gonna love the first game.
So we've got different environments in the second one. Then do they affect the gameplay? You need are you in an ice environment and you're going to freeze to death if you don't have fur clothes on? Or
I don't want to spoil too much, of course, but the environments are going to affect basically the gameplay. Mm-hmm. And for example, there is going to be, what I can say is like in the second environment, in the second 9 holes, basically, you're going to have like swamps. And playing in a swamp obviously is going to reduce your HP. You cannot, poison, you shouldn't put there, right?
That's going to make water hazards a bit different.
Exactly. It's not only a water hazard. It's also toxic. So
if the swamp monster tries to eat my golf ball, I'm happy.
You will see. So that was like the biggest change we had in the game. It's a lot bigger. And you're gonna also have like what we wanted to put in the first game, but we didn't do for a factor of time. You're gonna have quests. Everyone. Yes, you're gonna have quests, and those are gonna be also are basically gonna take so much time to do everything, and it's gonna be so replayability and everything is gonna be there. So we hope that people will appreciate that.
Oh, actually, quests that's got me interested now because like the first one, even though I loved the first one completely, it was just kind of like you're playing a round of golf.
Yeah, you basically played around golf. You had a few, you had dungeons, of course. There were dungeons in the first one. And they were mostly like, find the item to basically, overcome some obstacles in your course. The story in the second is going to be a lot bigger. The story also is going to be a lot more articulated than the first one. And as you played like, Skyrim and those kind of titles, you're going to have like, just random quests like, hey, I don't know, I've been attacked by bears recently. Can you take care of that for me? Stuff like that.
Okay, I mean, he said Skyrim, I'm in.
Skyrim with a golf club.
Skyrim with a golf club.
It sounds like the dream mod Skyrim needs. Not wants, needs.
Needs, definitely, yeah.
There's quite a lot gone into this thing. It's got a lot. It sounds like it's a lot bigger.
It is a lot bigger. It is a lot bigger. Trust me. It's like,
get that face, just like what am I doing?
It is a lot. It is. It's like a lot bigger than the first one, and also the changes are a lot, but we still kept the original style of the game. So it's still gonna be you playing golf, going around fighting monsters, enjoying yourself, and growing as a player. So the fighting system also has changed a lot. In the first game, it was more like you had like your HP bar, you had your MP bar, and you just went around and dealt damage to the monsters. In the second one, we approached more like it's similar to Zelda. If you want to take a famous title for reference, And our favorite Zelda from everybody in the team is Link's Awakening.
Yes,
We got inspired a lot of that. That's the best one ever. So we got a lot inspired by that, and so you're gonna have like hearts at this point, and you're gonna have orbs for the mana energy, and getting hit by a monster will remove a fixed amount of energy, and killing a monster, for example, low level monster are gonna take 1 or 2 hits. So it's gonna be a lot also more strategic for the player to fight monsters and everything.
But you can't just go in swinging your club gung ho. You've got to.
That's not gonna work the same way as the first one.
Are you saying there's stealth involved?
We don't have stealth.
That's fine.
Yet.
I'm in. I'm good. Me and stealth do not mix.
Yeah. There is not gonna be so much stealth involved at all. But,
like you see a monster and you have to kind of like develop a tactic or a strategy before you approach it. Yeah.
This will happen because in the first game, basically, we had the same AI for every monster, which was just like, let me attack you, and let me attack you a little bit more. So that was like the first stage for the first game. In the second one, we have like each monster has different AI. So every monster will also have a different attack pattern. So everybody will attack you in a different way, and you will also be able to block. So we added this great feature which is called like blocking.
Oh, see, that reminds me. I think it's Zelda that's popping into my head where I remember like crossing a dungeon. I think it was Zelda where you had to hold your shield out and block the arrows.
Yeah.
And so you could get close enough to hit
Zelda, you had the shield. In this one, you basically just block with your golf club. Something like that. And
there's a lot of the game sounds a lot bigger. Has the team got bigger to be able to achieve that, or
there is one person that came in along with the other, so it's a little bigger than before. Yes, and we got those. But it's not much of a change, but what basically this person is only working on RP Golf,
right?
Along basically, I'm between these and couple of other projects, not related to gaming though. But this person is full time on RP Golf, and I'm basically taking care of everything else in the game. So, yeah. And if you're listening to this, his name is Guillaume. Guillaume, you're the man. Thank you.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Like the first one was PC only. It's available on Steam.
Yes, first one was
the second one's coming to console as well.
Yes, the first title was released at the beginning was released on iOS and Android, and then we had like a Steam version. We also had an Amazon Store version, but yeah, I don't know much about that. I think I'm the only one that bought it. And in the second one, we are basically targeting console first, because what we got in the mobile market was. Sure, premium games do work there, but not as well as probably not. It's not the ideal market for the second title. Second title is
for it to work in mobile. You probably have to release it free and then charge for energy refills, or like mobile games has been heavily monetized.
Yeah, it seems to be something like that, or release it in chapters because the game is too big to be a single game. Otherwise, it would cost too much. So we felt like the console market is a good starting point. So we will start with console.
Carry on.
Oh, no, please do.
With the console market, are you going to focus on the brand new consoles that are coming out later in the year, or are you going to do the current generation and move on to the next gen?
We will do exactly like that. So we will focus on the current generation, and then we will move on to the next. We will still, of course, release on PC and Mac. And many people ask, so you're not going to publish on mobile? Oh my God, you're not. No, I mean, we're not going to publish on mobile now. Right now.
You're not saying never.
So
you just say
later down the line, possibly.
Definitely is not off the table. I mean, we are thinking about that. It's not just our priority right now, because making that the game is also more complex than the first one. The first one could all be done with 2 buttons, basically. It had action and cancel. This one requires a lot more buttons also. So it's gonna be like on mobile, it's gonna have a dedicated interface. You will need to do something. Mobile controls, they don't have to look horrible. They have to be good, and we want to take care of that, not just release a horrible port. So that's what we're focusing right now.
How big a difference is it then as a developer going from PC development to console development? Is there much difference in it, or?
Well, the first one was not originally for PC, so it was for the first one was for mobile at the beginning. So going from mobile to console, wow, yeah, it's a lot different. It's a lot different, of course, that it took a little bit of getting used to. But at the end, is a lot. The experience is. You also know that, for example, let's take the Nintendo Switch as a console. It's compared to mobile, where you can have like 100 different screen resolution displays, hardware. You know that the console is dead. So if it works well on your console, it's gonna work well on everybody else's console. So that's a great advantage. That's literally a great advantage compared to mobile. We had like in the first one, we had people with very old hardware. They were like, yeah, I can play your game, but I get this issue, I cannot see these, and they're so hard to debug because it's like a device that is only being released, for example, in India, and they say, I can't play the game on this device, and you're like, right.
Yeah, how many mobile devices are there in the world?
Too many.
It's too many, yeah, exactly, and it's really hard. Console, it's like, it works on mine, it's going to be working on yours too, so there we are.
You've mentioned a couple of times already, like your community feedback, people talk about mobile and feedbacking from the first game. We saw you the other day, you popped up in my stream the other day on Twitch, and we didn't know it was you until you outed yourself over some golf balls.
I had an inkling, I knew where he was from, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly where. I was like, this guy knows something that most people don't know. Who the hell is he? And then there it was.
Is that quite indicative of how you are with your community? Like you'll get like right in there and interact with them.
Yeah, I mean that's I want to see people like honest reaction, honest feedback. And sometimes you say like, "Yeah, this is like people." People are more careful about what they say. Also, I want people to actually, the best feedback in the first game was when people were insulting that. Oh, I mean, like that's a great feedback because those people are honest.
Yeah,
and they're not like oh yeah, the game is amazing, and just to say that in your face, and then it's like they play like 5 minutes. So
I got quite embarrassed because I tried selling your game to you.
I know you love the game, but I also saw that I entered in the chat and he was like, you sold the game to me. He's like, yeah, you should definitely try RP Golf. And I was like, yeah, I think I've heard that.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah,
that moment was awesome.
Thank
you so much
for
that.
Your face dropped on stream, Badger, was absolutely priceless.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, I feel like an idiot now.
I might go back, clip it, and put it into the stream.
Yeah, we should put that in there.
That was literally beautiful. Thank you for that.
So you've been quite active with the community then, and that's worked away a lot towards RP Gold 2 then.
Yes, I mean we listened to the feedback for the first game, and now we're basically posting a lot more frequent updates on Twitter than we were in the first one. So yeah, we're like we're posting like not too much to spoil the game. Of course, we don't want to ruin enough to basically show what we're doing and some of the cool features. So another cool feature that I didn't mention before is like now we have classes. I mean, you're not only going to be a golfer forever, you can be like also be a warrior, or you can also be a mage, and they're going to change your appearance too. So
yeah. Ooh, so that's a lot of replayability. So you can play as a
really
tank.
Big things are coming into this one then.
Like there are a lot
changes.
Yeah, there are, and yeah. And also, I will not say yeah. Sorry.
It sounds like a completely different game. Is it still going to feel like the first one, or
it's going to feel like exactly like the first one, but so much better?
Right.
I mean, the few people that now they tried the game, they said like this is so much better than the first. I mean, the atmosphere of the game is still there because at the end of the day, you still play golf and you still go around and smack monsters. So
No.
there is that. And, you know,
Is that?
We have that going on, which is like,
Is this,
and
is
that's
this
not
more,
going to change.
is this more of a case then that sort of like if you've played the first one and then you come and play the second one, you kind of get an idea of the vision for the first one, like the original vision of what you wanted to do?
Yes, you definitely. I mean, you can definitely get it. I mean, the first was a standalone, and it came out good at itself. There were some things that you felt like not. They didn't feel so good. For example, let me make you a very clear example. You played the first one. I know that. Of course, I know that I played the first one. And one of the things we did was like we focused a lot on having a big map because it wasn't small, the map of the first game, but the space between the holes was too much.
Yeah.
You had like it felt a little bit forced. So you had like those environments, and you went like to the first hole. Yeah, then now let's find the second hole, and you had dungeon in the middle, which was nice. But we were even as a developer, I felt like sometimes there was a lot too much in the middle between the two holes. Now the holes are going to be basically grouped together. So the 9 holes, they're going to be grouped together, and then you can go around and explore the world. So you still get the exploration part, but the golf part is going to be it's like, you know, it's
higher and neater.
Exactly. Yeah. And that we felt is like a huge improvement. So I hope people will appreciate. And the other thing is like it will feel you will feel a lot more variations in this game. Again, I'm not saying much, but basically going from World 1 to the last one of the world, which World 6 because 54 holes. So it's 6 words. Yeah. You're gonna find something different in each one of them. So there is always gonna be something new, and we really hope that the players will love it. Not enough. It's not gonna be something that will basically, oh my god, why did you ruin it? No, it's gonna be like, oh, there is also this. That's cool.
Yeah. It sounds like you put a lot of time and effort in this. So, like the first one you mentioned, sort of like money and time kind of constrained what you could do. Have you had more money and time on this one, or is it just what you've learned from the last one? You've been more efficient.
Well, we invested a lot more into this game in both time and money, and we also the experience. The experience was really important, of course. That one was our first, let's say, big game.
Yeah.
It was our first big game. Yeah, it wasn't like, you know. And starting with one of those, it's like it's not easy. It's not easy because it's like, oh, what are we doing? Oh, yeah, people will like this. I don't know. And so the experience, the feedback, and everything helped a lot. Also having like a clear vision for the second one, and also, yeah, we put a lot more money inside the game. So yeah, there is that, and a lot more also time because it's been in development life for about about a year in total now.
That's
a year
not
and
bad.
some months.
Not bad.
It's not bad, yeah, and yeah, so we're getting there.
So how does it feel? I'm going back to the first one again for a second quickly, but how does it feel to put all that time and effort and blood, sweat and tears into a game and then release it into the wild where you have no choice but to just sit back and see what's being said about it?
It's scary as hell. Yeah, you're like you're hitting refresh on every possible page, Twitter, Reddit, everywhere. App Store, you basically check like the reviews like 50 times a day, like a madman. It's like, it's gonna be a review. Somebody's gonna write. It's like it's really so like mind consuming. It's like you know, it's really difficult, and you know, and you're scared at the same time. It's like, will people love the game? Oh no, they're gonna hate the same. Yeah, I know people are gonna criticize that. You're scared about some part of the game you don't feel so confident about. It's really so hard. So
It was really well received, was RP Golf, so that must feel quite epic. You must feel like walking a foot taller now.
that was also. I mean, like when we found people that loved the game like you did, or like other fans that we had, it's like it's the best moment of your life in that moment. It's like so all the time that even if it's one person, you're like. My job here is done. Like my job here is done.
I can die now. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's like sure, but it doesn't matter now. It's like that person got it. Yeah, awesome. It's like, and of course you try to also improve in the second one. We try to improve what some of the critics that we got in the first one, so that they can appeal to more people without ruining the experience for people that love the first one.
Do you find criticism more important than compliments then?
Well, they're actually both important because compliments also tell you what you did right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so that part is also part of the feedback. I mean, feedback is good both ways, negative and positive. They're both good. I mean, some people told like, yeah, I love that part of the game, or I love when you had to do that. And some people are like, yeah, it felt kind of, for example, one of the critics was like, all the AI is the same. It feels boring after a while. Yeah, totally.
We know that.
We know.
We didn't like that bit either. We ran out of time.
I mean, the bosses, though, everybody loved the bosses because they were like, they had, of course, a different part. They didn't have the standard AI. But everybody loved them, so we knew we did something right in there. And the boss fight in the second one. Wow. Boss fight.
That's all he's going to say on it is, wow.
Wow. I want to play this right now. I want to play it right now. Do you have a time frame for release? I know you said this year, but...
It's going to be at the end of the year.
October, November, December?
Like, we plan on having like a Gold Master version at the end of the year, like October. Around October we plan on having that. And then, there will be a few adjustments, a few of that, but we really plan on releasing before the end of the year. We're putting like all the time we can right now. So.
I honestly, I can't wait for it. I saw that tweet from a couple of weeks ago, just popped up on my Twitter. I think it's the first time you tweeted it, or I've seen a tweet from you in ages. And I was just like, what the fuck? There's a second one? Right, I'm on this now.
Yeah, we posted a couple of screenshots here and there, a couple of posts when we were at events like Taipei Game Show of last year, 2019. We posted a picture when we were there, and we were introducing RP Golf 2 for the first time there, and it was in a very alpha stage. Like, we were still working on that. It was like so much stuff to do, yeah, and it was. So yeah, we didn't want to push too much on Twitter because it was still like very work in progress.
Yeah.
Now we are full steam rolling the development. Is like so. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that.
Have you found missing the expos? Like, say you went to Taipei Game Show, has that affected your plan for release? Not having shows on this year?
Well, it's. I mean, I cannot say too much about that, but yeah, I mean, of course, we miss going out and showing the game to people. Of course, as many other indie developers probably like it affects the especially it's a good occasion to basically get followers for the game. You go there, you can show the demo because you have the demo there, and people can come to your booth and play the game. And people like that, you can give them a sticker or a card or whatever with a QR code for the game, and they can just follow you on Twitter. So we really missed that part because obviously
it helps get you seen and heard. Yeah,
and so that part was really harsh. Hopefully, the situation will be solved more soon than later, but. Obviously, there are a lot of issues before that, right?
Yeah.
Worldwide, the situation worldwide right now is not the best. But we're gonna participate to some online events, and so yeah, we will tweet about that soon. And so there is like a Pocket Connect Gamer, or how it's called, that one. So we're gonna participate to that one. It's in June.
Pocket Gamer Connect. Yeah.
Pocket Game. Yeah. Sorry. So we are participating to that one. And we'll prepare a nice trailer for that one. So stay tuned for that. It would be awesome.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. You got anything else to add, Ed?
I did have a question. I've forgotten it. Have you got anything? I'll just try and remember what I was going to ask. My mind has gone blank. I do apologise.
Take your time.
So
Take your
when
time.
you say you released on consoles, does that mean the whole range? So PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch?
We plan on releasing on all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will see about the time, but basically we want to get to all of them. Yeah.
There was one question I had. Is there a price range? Are you allowed to say?
Oh, yeah, because the first one is ridiculously cheap.
What I can say is that the game is not going to be in the same price range as the first one.
Okay.
That's definitely not. It will be more aligned with console games prices, and because both about the time that it will take you to finish the game and the content that you put inside the game will be like they are not even remotely comparable. The first game, if you were doing a speed run, you could probably finish that in 2 to 3 hours. Probably just doing the main quest. Probably you could do 2 to 3 hours if you were fast. This one in 2 to 3 hours, you're not going to be done with the first 9 holes, not even remotely.
Wow.
So,
brilliant. That was the last question I was going to have. As a developer, if there are any other indie developers out there watching right now, is there any advice you could give them?
It's there is so many advice I could try and give them, but
okay.
I mean, I feel like everybody's experience.
Advice you could give them off the top of your head, then.
The biggest piece of advice is like plan your game well. Don't do the mistake of we'll figure everything out as we go. Of course, changing something in your game can happen because it happens. It happens, of course. But the clearer your vision, the easier it is to get your game from A to B in the shortest amount of time. That's really important because otherwise you risk of starting. I started developing this. It's a concept. Yeah, maybe I will add this, and then it takes so much time. It might take so much time, and you're gonna have like, I've been working on this for 7 years. Yeah, I mean, if it's a side project, good. If you're doing that for work, it's harder to monetize and survive on that, obviously.
I love that question. I asked someone that. I'm not going to say who it was, but I asked them that question in an interview at EJX last year, and their advice was, "Don't do it."
Well, that's an option. I mean,
do something else.
That's an option too. You want to do game development? Don't.
I mean, there's times like even in this interview, there's been times where you kind of put out. We've seen by your facial expression, you've just been like, "Fuck, man, that would happen." Is it worth that? Is it worth that struggle in the end?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, satisfaction when you finish the game, when you see something coming to life exactly as you were thinking, as you were imagining that. It's like. I look at that. It's like, I look at you. It's like you kind of want to pet the game. It's like, I look at you. And when people play that's the best part. I mean, when people play the game and if they like it, that's like it's like, yeah, we'll totally do that again. It's like, yeah, sure. It's like,
well, is there anything we've missed in this interview that you want to tell people while we've got you here? Is there anything at all we've missed?
No, I think we covered a lot of stuff. Like, unless you guys have questions, I mean, like.
We've tried to get as much out as we can. I know we can't get everything. I'm not saying we want everything.
No, we want some form of mystery left for when it actually is released.
But yeah,
you will mean. Yeah, I mean.
Go on, sorry, go on, fella.
Oh, I mean, you will get that. Don't worry. There will be a lot of mystery in there. I mean. I'm
looking forward to playing it. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually looking forward to playing it.
Even more so, I was already, but even more so after today when we got to the whole Skyrim with a golf club. Yeah, I'm sold. Just like, take the money now, take it.
Yeah, can I put
and another thing. One thing I didn't mention that might be like I will try to be a little bit vague, but there is basically not gonna be any more experience points. But It
An
would
RPG
be.
game without experience points.
My kind of RPG.
We have a different system, which is still based on. I mean, it's
It's still
basically
based on leveling up, but not with XP. Is it a new system?
exactly.
Yeah.
There is not gonna be like it's not gonna be like the first one where at there is not gonna be levels. That's the important part.
Right.
You're still gonna get experience in a way. So you'll see.
I'm trying to think of different ways of doing it. Is that sort of like, you've got this gold club and it'll level up after you've killed 150 goblins?
Well, what I was mentioning is like
it drinks life.
I was mentioning is Skyrim. It's like not only Skyrim. Like we are very we played all the online games, very old online games, as you might imagine. So there was one game which was like Ultima Online.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever played Ultima Online.
Yes.
And something like the skill system that they had was kind of brilliant. So we have something like that involves both the RPG part and the golf part, which is. I think people will love that.
I want this now.
Pre-orders, please.
Yeah, I don't want to wait till October. Can we pre-order now?
It will be cool. I think it will be cool. I think you will like it, and you'll see. It's coming along, and
what's going to be interesting is it's coming out at the end of the year. So I've made no bones so far at all on Stop Up Sense that indie game of the year so far is without a doubt Hyper Parasite. Which was hilarious on the stream the other day when we had you in there and the developer from Hyper Parasite. It's going to be interesting to see if you can knock them off their throne by the end of the year.
Hope so.
But we'll have to start out where we have Kitty Mert playing RP Golf and Riccardo playing Hyper Parasite.
Oh, that could be fun. I mean,
that'll be interesting to see. Have two developers criticize each other's games.
They have different pace, I think. Like that's kind of interesting. Should definitely do that.
Riccardo, thank you so much for joining us today and letting us interview the podcast. Everybody, make sure you check out ArcticNet on Twitter. Keep up to date, and of course, Stoffel Presents and myself, Ed. We're going to be following. We're going to be on this like a tramp on chips all the way up to release.
The Twitter handle is ArcticNet LLC.
I will make sure there's a link in the chat while this is playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Is there anything else you'd like to say while we are still here before I end this session?
Well, just that you guys are awesome. That's the only thing I can say. You guys are really awesome.
I appreciate that very much.
Still, like the other day, I mean, when I came in the chat and like you were talking about the game, it was like that was one of the best moments ever. So
we're gonna have to clip that and put it in it because I was embarrassing as hell. I'm just gushing about the game and trying to sell it to the guy who fucking made it.
It's like you're trying to sell me my own game. That was
at the end of this video because we are still recording right now.
So I love the fact it was golf balls that outed you. That was perfect. We couldn't have said it. Well, even if I'd have known, we couldn't have set it up better.
Hey, it kind of like you really gave me like a huge help in there. You were playing the game and golf ball came out. And I was like, well,
ta-da!
That's not a sign.
Once again, thank you very much, Riccardo. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yes, no, thank you. And we'll end this recording here. So back to the live us. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.